Welcome to the Prince Edward County Conference Line. Please stand by. You'll be joined in shortly.
The June meeting of the Board of Supervisors is now called to order. You like to?
First item, Mr. Chair, ladies and gentlemen, members of the board, I wish to recognize that Board Chair Patty Cooper Jones is with us this evening via remote telephone access. As required by the Board of Supervisors electronic meeting policy and Section 2.2-3708.3 of the Code of Virginia, Board Chair Cooper Jones provided notification that she would have to be physically absent from tonight's meeting due to an out-of-town training required for her job. She has requested remote participation in tonight's board meeting from the Wyatt West End in Richmond, Virginia. Her request is in conformance with the board's electronic meeting policy and the requirements of the Code of Virginia. Pending an objection from a member of the Board of Supervisors, Board Chair Cooper Jones's participation from a remote location in Richmond, Virginia shall be approved and shall be recorded in the minutes of this meeting. Due to her remote participation, she has asked Vice Chair Bill Jenkins to conduct the board meeting as the interim chair.
At this time, I ask Supervisor Jones to lead us in prayer.
Please bow your heads with me. Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you today humble and thankful for who you are and what you've done. Lord, we thank you for this county, Father, for this Commonwealth. I pray your special blessing over this county tonight. Lord, I pray that you would give us wisdom and discernment as we go about the business of governing, Lord. I pray that we would have ears to hear input from our citizens. Father, that we would lead humbly. Lord, we repent of the sins of the people of this county, Father, and we turn to you for wisdom, for guidance, and we trust in your name, Lord. So thank you for this evening. Thank you for the safety and that you've blessed us with. Thank you for each one here tonight, Lord. For those who couldn't be here, Lord, I ask for traveling mercies on each one and that you would bring us back safely next time. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, the first thing will do the conflict of interest disclosure. I have one. As a member of the Prince Edward County Board of Supervisors, I, Bill Jenkins. In the closing, I have a personal interest in item number 24 on the June 11th, 2024 agenda, which is the closed session. Consultation of legal counsel regarding the purpose of legal advice by city council related to properties adjoining the county border pursuant in the exemption provided in section 2.2/3711A8 of the Code of Virginia. I'm the owner of a vacant parcel of land identified as PID number 42837, located on the west side of Route 617. The newly surveyed county line will split the parcel such that an estimated 16.779 acres are in Prince Edward County and 0.309 acres are in Nottaway County. I am able to participate in the discussion and vote pursuant to the exemption provided for section 2.23112B1 of the Code of Virginia, as the transaction affects all the owners of the estimated 7 parcels split by the newly surveyed county line, which is a group of 3 or more. I hereby certify that I am able to participate in the transaction fairly, objectively, and in public interest. I have filed a declaration of disclosure with the Office of the Prince Edward County Administrator, a copy of which is available for public review. Victor Thomas, Bill Jenkins, June 11, 24.
Mr. Chairman, I have a conflict of interest disclosure. As a member of the Prince Edward Board of Supervisors, I, Jerry R. Townsend, am disclosing that I have a personal interest in the June 11, 2024 agenda item number 9, the appropriations for the fiscal year 25 county and the fiscal year 25 school budget, as my wife is an employee of the Prince Edward County Public Schools, and I'm an employee of the Piedmont Regional Jail. I'm able to participate in the discussion and vote pursuant to the exception provided in section 2.2-3112B 1 of the Code of Virginia because of the appropriations for the fiscal year 24 county budget and the local funding for the fiscal year 24 school budget affects groups of 3 or more, which are all county-funded employees, all county agencies funded by the county budget, and all employees of the Prince Edward County Public Schools and the Piedmont Regional Jail. I'm able to participate objectively and in the public interest. I have filed a declaration of disclosure with the Office of the Prince Edward County Administrator, a copy of which is available for public view.
As the county attorney for Prince Edward County, I, Terry Atkins Wilson, am disclosing that I have a personal interest in item number 24 on the June 11th, 2024 agenda, which is the closed session. Consultation with legal counsel regarding the provision of legal advice by such counsel related to properties adjoining the county boundary pursuant to the exemption provided for in section 2.2-3711A8 of the Code of Virginia. I am the owner of a vacant parcel of land identified as PID number 42A47, located on the western side of State Route 617. The newly surveyed county line will split the parcel such that an estimated 2.889 acres are in Prince Edward County and 30.817 acres are in Nottoway County. I am able to participate in discussion pursuant to the exemption provided for in section 2.2-3112B1 of the Code of Virginia, as the transaction affects all of the owners of the estimated 70 parcels split by the newly surveyed county line, which is a group of 3 or more. I hereby certify that I'm able to participate in the transaction fairly and objectively and in the public interest. I filed a declaration of disclosure with the Office of the Prince Edward County Administrator, copy of which is available for public review. Terry Atkins Wilson.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll move on to recognitions. Okay, sure.
Recognitions are an opportunity for the Board of Supervisors to recognize achievements in the community with a focus on the accomplishments of students, employees, and citizen volunteers who serve the county of Prince Edward. Employee of the month for June is Robin Coleman. Robin joined the Prince Edward County Buildings and Grounds staff in October of 2023 and has been a much-needed spirited addition to our family. She's consistently busy cleaning and doing anything necessary to keep our courthouse up to par. If you want something done, all you have to do is mention it within a year's distance. Our courthouse busy bee will find a way. She is always courteous and pleasant when dealing with staff and citizens. Her initiative and willingness to go above and beyond are unmatched. We look forward to working with Robin for many years to come.
Come on back here. Go. And, Mr. Chair, if you'll stay with me, the board also will have the opportunity to recognize and congratulate Cheryl Stimson. Cheryl, come on here, Cheryl. Cheryl's our Director of Finance, and she recently completed the Virginia Government Finance Officers Association Certificate Program. The certificate program provides training in the areas of accounting, budgeting, cash management, debt, administration, internal controls, Virginia law, and other topics pertinent to state and local governments. To successfully complete the program, a student must complete and pass the related exam for the 8 core courses and elective courses. Congratulations, Cheryl.
Congratulations.
And now we move on to public participation. Mr. Stanley, you like to?
Looks like you've got about 7, so maybe if you want to set about 3 minutes
Oh, 3
apiece.
minutes apiece. Yep, 20 minutes. Yep.
All right, we've got 7 speakers, and I'll ask that you complete your time in 3 minutes. First speaker, Eric Isaacson, Piedmont Area Veterans Council. Eric. Next, Ronnie Fincham.
I'm here because I'm still concerned about all the solar and environmental problems that are going on with the county. And so many are wanting to put in more and more solar fields. As I continue to read, I see more and more wanting to be built in the Elam area and so forth and things. And people have got to start looking at this. I mean, has anyone seen anything that shows where your energy costs have went down because of the solar fields that are put out here anywhere in the state of Virginia? Has anyone researched the environmental problems that have come from these solar fields? And I haven't seen anyone in the county or neighboring counties that have actually had a town hall where they brought out true discussions. It's always pretty much one-sided because people don't want to go against what they call green energy. And I feel like that they need to actually look at it, invest some time, research it, and see it's not as green as what they claim to be. And I ask the board to review these issues once again and try to make sure that these are restrictions that are added in, and especially like the legal things. I watched some of y'all last time ask good questions. You know, when is it going to be built? What happens to it after it's built? And I heard that in 3 years it should be built. 5 years it was a plan to sell it. So if you really wanted to do something good, you'd hold on to it for the 40 years that you're claiming to invest in it. That ought to tell you something from the get-go. But once again, nobody's looking at these issues. It's not there. The roof runoff, the animal and the insects and so forth that are being disturbed from these, oh yeah, we're going to put a little flower bed in. But they don't tell you about the 3 degrees increase in the temperature that'll drive them away. I mean, please take the time and research this before we go any further. Thank you.
Mr. Fincham, for the record, can I get your address?
42 Colonial Road, Palmyra, Virginia.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And other speakers, if you would, just give us your address as well when you introduce yourself. Howard Armistead.
Thank you, Howard Armstead, 706A Hill Street in Farmville. And I'm here to today to talk a little about ethics and morals in politics. Recently, I had a situation where some people were lying about me. And, if you go into politics, no matter who you are in politics, someone's going to lie about you. But some people think, the average people think that, well, politicians don't do anything but lie anyway. Well, that's not true, because if you're a politician and you lie, it's going to catch up with you sooner or later. Now, you can make a lot of promises. Well, I'm going to try to do this and I'm going to try to do that. And some people say, well, you didn't actually achieve that. And they say you lied. No, you didn't. You wanted to do it. You tried to do it, but just the numbers weren't there for you. But, today, it's usually new people that come into politics that think they can go lie about everything. And unfortunately, we've had somebody that did it too much. And it's come all the trickles down. They got the line trickle-down theory, that it comes all the way down from Washington and New York City down to Farmville. Then you get people in Farmville going around lying, oh, this man won the election, this guy, it was rigged, this, that, and the other. Well, I'm up to here with that kind of BS and lying. Lying that America is a failed country, lying that our economy is so bad when it's one of the best in the world. They're lying that American veterans and the people that died for our country, like some of our relatives in here, were losers. So, lying that our elections are all rigged, that the judicial system is rigged, that the rest of the institutions in our country are rigged. And then people start saying, well, this man is a chosen one. He's a savior. We need to praise him. We need to worship him. And my God, what has America come to? I spent 20 years in Africa trying to help people live in the face of AIDS, in the face of Ebola, in the face of COVID-19. I was fighting all those diseases in Africa for 20 years, and I come back to a country, and sometimes I think it's lost its mind. It's lost its moorings. We all came here as immigrants, and now different times, different centuries, different eras, but all our families came here as immigrants, and now we're going to round up 15 million and crash the whole economy. The American economy will crash down if that happens. And my 3 minutes is up. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Armistead. Next speaker, Estelle Jones.
Well, I'm speaking, good afternoon, first of all, board members. I'm speaking on behalf of the Piney Grove CEP solar project, because my family, the Taylor Farm, is a part of it. And I'm hoping that you all will vote to provide a permit for the continuation of that project, because I see benefit in it for the county as far as raising tax dollars, providing jobs, providing another form of energy, and the use of our family's farm for something besides growing weeds. It would provide a little bit more support for our farm without us physically having to work the land ourselves. Land which is now just growing up and not being used for anything else. So I'm here to support the Piney Grove Solar Farm and hoping that you all will vote yes to provide a permit to have it in Prince Edward County. Thank you.
ma'am.
Ms. Jones, can you give us your address for the record?
159 Taylor Drive, Rice, Virginia.
Thank you very much. Next speaker is Mr. Eddie Folks.
Edwin Folks from Tazewell, Virginia, and I speak for the Folks family. We're here along with the Taylors, And we have the two solar projects, Piney Grove and Miller Lake. And we encourage you to look at these two projects and realize that we didn't just pick any random company to do this. We actually looked at 4 or 5 different companies until we chose CEP, because they pay attention to the details like the neighbors. And Henry Coates is here. He had his issues taken care of in the last month with access and stuff like that. And, you know, I don't have anything else to say. It looks to me like this is a positive thing for the county. We have, in our case, we have parcels of land that, like the Taylors, aren't doing as much as they could do, and they certainly aren't doing much for the county until we harvest the timber, which is decades. On the other hand, with the solar farm, you not only get yearly revenue from revenue sharing, you get tools and equipment tax, which you don't have now, and you have other benefits. And I just thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Who we have?
Next speaker, Mr. Chair, is Bobby Rodriguez.
Hello, everyone. My address is 2214 East Marshall Street in Richmond, and I am here representing CEP Solar. I also want to say that I know that there is somebody else who didn't sign up to speak, and I can go short on my time if I need to. But yes, I'm representing CEP Solar. We're a small local business. Since our last meeting, I've been working hard to collect input from everyone, and we've included more conditions. And we've also have an agreement with Mr. Coates, who you'll hear from next if he's allowed to speak. It's also been my pleasure to support local businesses in the county, and I've really enjoyed being treated like a community member. And I hope you'll allow us to continue being an active and supportive member of this community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Sue Mayo.
That's kind of mean, but I'm really Sue Yates. Somebody put my name down. I'm Sue Yates. I'm on the roster too.
Ms. Yates, you want to come up and speak?
Sorry about that, guys. I'm Sue Yates. I'm from Nottoway County. Do you want my address?
Yes, ma'am.
615 East Tennessee Avenue, Crewe, Virginia. I'm Sue Yates, and I am told that the subject of the Confederate flag will be discussed in closed session. I'm not sure, but I guess it is. Well, I do not live in this county. I do live in the adjoining county of Nottoway, so I don't have a vote in this county, and I know that. Having served in public office, I believe that it is the duty of the elected officials to listen to their constituents. The reckless spending of public officials is breathtaking in most counties, state, and federal government. I'm left to wonder if this county would be more fiscally responsible by sending the issue of the Confederate flag to a referendum. Talk to your people. Let them talk back to you. Let them tell you what they want in their county. Because as I understand it, and I have served in public office, we're elected to represent the people in a certain district, nonetheless. They even break it down that way. Just don't get it, guys. Why any county would take on a constitutional issue without listening to the citizens. And I know that the Confederate flag is a big issue. I understand that. And there will be arguments on both sides. I'm not here to give my opinion. But I am here because I'm tired of watching elected officials do as they darn well please with the citizens' money. It's a bad choice. And I can proudly say that when I sat on town council, I never once did that. In fact, when I was elected, I asked my constituents to remind me that I would not do that if I ever drove off course, okay? So it saddens me because our country, our counties, our towns, our cities are being run by a handful of people that should never, ever, ever forget that you were elected by the people and for the people. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mr. Chair, that's all the individuals we have signed up. Is there anyone else that wishes to speak? Who's able, I think we can handle at least one more with our time limit. Come on up, sir. If you give your name and address.
My name is Henry Coates. I spoke last time. I didn't get a chance. I got in here too late to sign up the sign-up sheet. But what all I'm saying, CEP Solar worked with me and took care of my concerns, all the concerns that I mentioned in the last board meeting. And we had come to I have an agreement with them. So, you know, I'm satisfied with what they've done. So I have no more objections to them putting up the solar farm. I have some papers here. Y'all can review.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
If you run out, I got two.
Thank you.
You got one. Sir, we're good.
That's all I wanted to say, that they've worked out and they did a very good job of addressing all my concerns, and that we didn't have to haggle over any of the concerns and everything, and they worked very well with me. So that's all I had to say about it.
Mr. Coates, for the record, would you give us your address?
Oh, yes, 57 Moran Drive, Rice is my address, physical address. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Chair, that concludes our public
That
participation.
wraps that up. Let's move on to the Board of Supervisors comments.
We have one on the line.
Okay.
We have somebody online that wishes to speak?
No, I'm just here giving this week, listening to everything, when the shepherd part of the Taylor family. I'm other solar plant.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much for your input.
All right. Then we go to the Board of Supervisor comments. Supervisor Emmett.
Just thank you all for being here, each and every one of you. I think it's already been said here tonight, which is very true, that you all are the ones that hold us accountable, and I appreciate you being here and your support. Gary?
Okay, Supervisor.
Thank you, everyone, for being here this evening. Appreciate your support and concern.
Supervisor Jones.
Yeah, echo those thoughts. Please help us to continue to seek the truth, whether at this level or higher levels, as Mr. Armistead touched on. The truth is a valiant pursuit, and I think it's important for all of us. So thank you for your input. Thank you for being present here tonight and taking up your valuable time to come enjoy the processes of local government.
Supervisor Watson.
Everybody before me said it very well. Thanks so much for participating, and happy early Father's Day to all the fathers out there.
Good evening, everybody. It's great to have everybody here. And as Mr. Watson said, I was going to say as well, happy Father's Day to all of you out there. Thank you.
Supervisor Gillum.
Good to see everyone, a nice full room tonight, and hope to see you back for the next meeting. Thank you for coming.
And I'm glad to see everybody here tonight, and I hope I do a 50-50 job tonight. I probably ain't gonna do 100, but I appreciate a 50-50.
Patty, I think I heard Patty. I think I heard Patty on the line.
Okay. Miss Patty?
Board member, Mr. Vice Chair, Mr. County Administrator, all the staff, I thank you for allowing me to participate by remote. And I like to be that thank you for your participation and your concern. We have to follow the prayer to all of us.
Okay. Okay, then the consent agenda before us.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to be approved as presented.
Second. Got a second? Okay, all right, thank you. Okay, Mr. Stanley, would you like to go over the budget?
I'll if you want me to go with roll call?
We gotta have a vote.
Roll call.
Okay.
Ms. Cooper Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Gillum?
Yes.
Dr. Pride?
Yes.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Emmert?
Yes.
Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Chair.
Yes. Okay, now we can move on. The FY 25 county budget.
So you will go to page 87 in your packet. On April 30, the Board of Supervisors approved the FY 25 budget for Prince Edward County. The resolution adopted on that date listed a total budget of $75,470,373, which included a school budget of $31,757,712 and a school cafeteria budget of $1,954,000. While the board approved the FY 25 budget, funds cannot be expended until appropriated. Attachment 1 in your packet is the annual resolution of appropriation, which empowers the county officers to expend and manage funds in accordance with the policies contained in the resolution. Attachment 2 provides specific amounts to be appropriated by department or fund. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Move that the Board of Supervisors approve the annual resolution for fiscal year 25 appropriations and appropriate the fiscal year 25 budget for each county department and fund.
Second.
Thanks.
I'll go ahead, Patty.
Okay.
All right, Ms. Cooper Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Mr. Emmert?
Yes.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Dr. Pride?
Yes.
Mr. Gillum?
Yes.
Mr. Chair.
Yes. Okay, let's move on. Ms. White? This is our business spotlight.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
So I'd like to just provide an introduction first. So the third generation leader at Greenfront Furniture, Den Crawley, took on an official role at the family business after graduating with a bachelor's degree in business administration from the Cox School of Business at Southern Methodist University in 2013. His father, Richard Dickey Crawley, who remains owner, began the process of transferring the business to his son in October 2014. Founded in 1968, Greenfront is ranked as a top 100 U.S. furniture store by Furniture Today. Greenfront's 3 locations, which include its flagship Farmville store, Manassas, and Raleigh, have a combined 1.15 million square feet of selling space. Named president in October 2018, Crawley has his eye on marketing and branding, helping expand Greenfront's presence online and on social media. Greenfront is an economic force in Farmville, where Crawley also sits on the Board of Trustees at Hampton-Sydney College, to which he was appointed in 2016. Crawley was featured in the inaugural Virginia 500 and the 2020 Power List. And now I'd like to welcome Mr. Crawley to the podium.
Thank you, Chelsea. Appreciate that. And thank you to the board having me on. I've actually never been in this room, and it's definitely fun to see some of the inner workings of a place that I've lived my whole life. So I just wanted to kind of give you an update, nothing too heavy. But I'm Den Crawley. Obviously, you heard all those things. But when it comes down to it, it's Greenfront is a small business. I know it doesn't seem like that, but overall, we have about 120 employees through all 3 locations, and most of them are here in Prince Edward County. Obviously, my dad was born here. I grew up here, and it's going to be where I always am, and excited to see what the future brings. So, just a few updates. You know, some people know about Greenfront, but maybe don't always need to go furniture shopping. Maybe they just see the buildings. Oh, that's cool, but I don't need a sofa right now. But we're really putting a lot of money into these old tobacco warehouses and really trying to make sure these really like the skyline of Farmville with buildings 8, 9, and 10 are true destination level experiences for people coming into town and also customers that live right here in Prince Edward. So next to Charlie's, building number 7, we just opened a new leather gallery. And if you haven't been in there yet, it is pretty awesome. I think it probably has the best view of the river now, and it has this really cool Montana kind of look. And you know, in this day and age, we really have to make the shopping experience above and beyond. It's got to be the most special, most different thing for someone to drive 2 hours to our community. And again, I'm just letting you all know that we are doing a lot of things behind the scenes. Building number 12 used to be the boneyard. Now we separated the boneyard with the clearance items in other locations, but we made a new, it's called Work and Play. Office furniture on the top, and then motion and game tables on the bottom. And it just turned out to be such an amazing building, and that's right off Main Street. The gift shop, that's a store that a lot of the local community members shop at, whether it's gifts for Father's Day. There's probably more Mother's Day gifts in there, but just little things that make a house a home, and we've redone that recently. And then you'll see under construction, we're opening our new sort of epic building. It's Building 15, the old Baldwin's buildings, is going to be Greenfront Modern. And if you walk by, stick your head in, don't too far, it's under construction, but you can see through the windows. It is going to be an amazing showroom for more modern furniture and really trying to get a different group of people to come here and shop. Greenfront's always been known for traditional. We're in Virginia. We still have a lot of traditional, but we're really trying to segment each building into a different kind of vibe. So again, if you go to Charlie's, stop into Building 7 to check it out, Building 12, and eventually 15. Just wanted to give you a few other updates of what we're doing. We're really professionalizing the whole company. I don't know who's shopped here before, but a year ago we were writing tickets on carbon copy 3 trifold, pieces of paper, and now we've integrated a complete digital system through NetSuite by Oracle. So we're really taking those steps to go from almost a big mom and pop shop to more of an enterprise level sustainable business. And the fun stuff is with Jen from Letterpress working with a local company on marketing, Instagram, Facebook, really just trying to create a story to get people engaged and make that trip to Farmville, or if you're already here, let y'all know about what we're doing. And a lot of that is, in the last couple years, we launched a new website. Do we sell furniture online? No, but the website is made where it really shows the destination level experience, whether it's Hybrid's Trail, whether it's the restaurants, whether it's the hotels you can stay at. We're really trying to make sure Greenfront doesn't live in a vacuum. It's all, if Greenfront does well, Farmville and Prince Edward all do well, and that's the main goal. And just a few other marketing things we're doing. NBC 12, normal commercials in Richmond. We also have in Charlottesville, and we're really pushing for the Hampton Roads area. If you look at what someone Googles Greenfront, the #1 city is Virginia Beach. And, there's just a lot of untapped potential out there. I went to a Hampton Roads fundraiser. They had no idea what Greenfront was. They didn't know what Farmville was. It was just it's a whole different world out there. And we're really trying to make some efforts to reach those customers so they can come spend their money here. And another way we're doing that is with the St. Jude Dream Home. It's a really awesome, they have one it's at the Highlands in Henrico. And build a house, fill it full of furniture, and obviously St. Jude's, how can you beat that as a, giving back to the kids. But it's a perfect way to showcase our furniture to get new customers, and they can actually win a $10,000 shopping spree if they go visit the house. So if you entered, you gotta get, I mean, $10,000, it probably went a long way a few years ago, but eggs are expensive, furniture is expensive. I'm sorry, I can't help you there. But so we're doing the St. Jude Dream Home and the Hampton Roads Dream Home, and we've actually been on I went down there a couple weeks ago to do a TV segment in Norfolk, and just really talking up the community, the things you can do in Farmville, and it's not just Greenfront, but at least we can hook them in some way. Also, I do split my time in Richmond on the weekends, and we had I think it's been since the 70s, is the annual Easter on Parade on Monument Avenue. And I think Kroger used to be the big sponsor there, and they backed out. And I was like, Greenfront, let's do it. So we were the main sponsor for a pretty big event that gets a lot of people, and hopefully these people from Richmond come here and just, even if they don't know about it, you don't even have to buy furniture. Just come here and see what it's all about, because I think there's a lot of good momentum going. And then taking it a little bit closer to home, the SPCA, the Southside SPCA, has been an amazing partner, and we're doing the main sponsor for their gala this year. We did it last year as well. So giving back to that, and if you ever do the WFLO, the Dog of the Week, a lot of these dogs have been adopted, and we try to promote that. And Greenfront is dog friendly, and I think that's just another little part that makes people want to come here and stay for more than a few hours. Don't stay for 2 hours, stay for 6 hours. You got to bring your best friend. You can't leave them at home for that. So we're just trying to think ahead on how to get people to come here and stay here. And just to finish it off, we have a lot of potential here. We have 2 great university colleges that have a lot of momentum, and I think Farmville does have a serious buzz around it. When people hear Farmville, I think it brings up different things than maybe it did before, and I think that's a positive thing. And sometimes you walk down Main Street and you see these people. There's a lot of people that haven't been to Farmville before, and that's what I'm excited about, is new people coming in, but also, serving our existing customers. So again, I just wanted to introduce myself formally, Dan Crawley with Greenfront. Come check it out. I'm Monday through Friday in the office, but come see some of these new showrooms, and we have a lot of actually fun product in those showrooms. So it's good. It's all good. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let me just hand out my email addresses if you ever need to get in a hold of me. There we go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dan. Hey, Dan. Let me tell you just a little something. Several years ago, a friend of mine was traveling by plane.
Yeah.
And he sat by a couple on the plane that was from Utah.
Uh-huh.
And they were chatting back and forth where they were from, where they were going. And this couple was on the way to Farmville to go to Greenfront to shop. His wife wanted to go.
Yeah.
And I never did figure it had, in Utah, they found out about you.
Yeah.
But the word gets around.
Yeah. We get people from Montana, Florida, New York State. And once they find out about us, they come, and that's my job, is to keep them coming and staying at the hotels, eating at the restaurants, and just getting a sense of Southside Virginia, because it's a special place, I gotta say. So again, thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Not long ago, I saw somebody pull up in front of building number 1 and get out, and just had the most defeated look on their face of all time. It was Sunday. And they had driven all the way from Fairfax County. So check the website.
We're closed on Sunday.
Good for you.
All right. The next thing we're gonna have is a community partner update. The Central Virginia Regional Library. Mr. Rick gonna give us a presentation.
Right here for you.
Oh, perfect. Wireless, I love it. Thank you. Wait a minute, it says witness on it. Not sure I'm comfortable with that. Hello, my name is Rick Ewing. I'm the Central Virginia Regional Library Director. And we have 3 libraries. One of them is in Prince Edward County and in Farmville. And I don't have a $10,000 kind of a potential giveaway, but you each have a magnet there in front of you. That's the best we can do.
Thank you for that. Thank you.
So I'm here today to give an update, but First, I'd like to explain a change in our library system. About a little over a year ago, the director for Cumberland Library passed away suddenly, and the library there, very small but very nice, serves Cumberland County, and that library started to sort of crumble a little bit in terms of their ability to provide service. And they called me and said, hey, can we join? And I'm cutting through some of the timing here, but anyhow, the answer eventually was yes. So they joined our system officially on January 1st of this year. And that caused some changes, and that's what I'm going to talk about for a minute. And those changes, some of them were, that the building and the property went to the county, Cumberland County, and some other things that are just sort of almost like housekeeping things changed. The thing I'm here to talk to you about specifically is our board of directors at the library. The library has, up until January 1st, it served Buckingham County and Prince Edward County in the town of Farmville. And there were 9 people on the library directors board, 4 from appointed by Prince Edward County, you all, 4 from appointed by Buckingham County, and 1 from the town of Farmville. So that was going to change when we had a third library join us. And the change, it was a change to our bylaws, and that change resulted in now it's 2 people are appointed by the Cumberland Board of Supervisors, 3 from Prince Edward, 3 from Buckingham, and 1 from the town of Farmville. And as it turns out, that's that ratio of how many people are being appointed to our 9-member board pretty much matches the population of the places that we serve. So to me, that seems like a even better makeup than there was before. So it's going to be 3, 3, 2, and 1 to make up the 9. There's a little bit of an overlap. There's someone going off the board. It's term limits from Prince Edward, and that seat will remain forever unappointed because that makes up one of the ones from Cumberland. So I just wanted to make sure that you all understood what's going on. It isn't a major change. Cumberland is still, or Prince Edward is still one of the top 2, just like it was before, in terms of population now, and also in terms of members of the board that you appoint. So before I go any further, do you all have any questions about that aspect? Okay, thank you. And then a quick update about the library. We recently, on June 1st, we had our summer reading program kickoff for this year. We had over 300 people visit our Farmville Prince Edward Library, and that was just really successful. We did it in conjunction with First Responders Day. We had everything from a helicopter from the state police landed in our almost like our parking lot, and people could go get in that. That was pretty cool. And the sheriff's department, the Farmville police, fire, everybody participated. We had a food truck. It was great, and I think the community really liked it. They loved it last year. They loved it this year. Talking about programs, just this summer, our system, 3 libraries together, will have 97 programs just for kids and families. That's not including adult programming. About 40 of those 97 are happening right here in Prince Edward County over about 2.5 months. So that's the kind of level that we're trying to maintain. We can do this because we hired a person to serve children and teens. We recently did this just in Farmville, Prince Edward, in that library. And we have a full-time coordinator, a librarian with 9 years of experience doing this in Fairfax County that we just hired to sort of coordinate the whole system. And we've never had that kind of staffing available, and that's why we can do programming. And we had to, it was so many people coming to our programs here, we doubled the number of, we went from 1 baby time a week to 2 baby times a week here in Farmville, and then 1 story time a week to 2 story times a week, because we had to spread it out. It's amazing how many people that we're getting now. We also manage the Dolly Parton's Imagination Library for Prince Edward County, and so we have 322 kids under 5 getting a free book every month in the mail. And anyone can sign up for that. The program is, well, it costs us some money, but it's free for the kids in Prince Edward County, also Cumberland and Buckingham. So we're real happy about that. And we still give away free COVID tests all the time at all 3 of our libraries. So I think we're really, we try to be good community partners, and I just want to thank you for your continued support, and thank you all for inviting me to be here. I appreciate it. Any questions at all that I can help with? Or, no? All right, I'll yield to the next witness.
Good try, Rick.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, sir, for your input. Well, I guess we got highway matters. Mr. Scott Frederick.
Good evening, Chairman and Board. I just want to start off by thanking Bill King for filling in for me for the last 3 months. He did an excellent job, and I guess you guys got to have a peek and see how I've been so successful here. So thank you to Bill. I am back full-time, as Dan Crawley said. I live here and I plan to stay here. Just a quick update for you guys tonight. Route 665 Worsham Road, we replaced that bridge. We opened that structure up today to traffic. So the detour signs have been taken down. We are going to follow up and do some asphalt work over top of that new structure, but it would be done under a flagging operation when we do it. So the public won't feel any more road closures out there for a long time. The structure that we replaced had a weight limit on it, and it had been well past its useful life. So happy to have it gone. We've been doing some resurfacing paving work on Route 692. We started at Abilene Road, and we're going to where we stopped at today, kind of in the campus area near the athletic center. So right where you see us today, that's where the work's going to stop for now. We turned some gravel roads into hard surface roads. I got to spend the afternoon with Doug Stanley yesterday. We went and checked them out. Falkland Road, Old Oak Road, and Briery Way Road, they're now surface treated. So the people that live out on those roads don't have to deal with the dust anymore. The ones that we're working on opening up to charges, getting the environmental work done so that we can do those are, let me see here. Here we go, Rice Creek Road, Junction Canal Road, Quail Crossing, and Loman. Those were the ones next in the list, as you guys probably remember from doing the work session with Bill earlier this spring. So those will either this fall or in the following spring be worked on and completed. We're working on mowing. We're halfway done cutting the secondary routes in the county. Pretty much everything on the west side of 15 is cut, and we're working on switching over and getting the east side of the county cut. And then sometime into next week, we're going to start mowing the primary routes. We're hoping to have everything cut by the 4th of July week. We're also doing a litter pickup before we mow, so you shouldn't have to see any trash all shredded up out there. So let's see here. Our contractor, Ms. Pride, this one is in your district and you've worked on a lot over the years. On 604, we had a contractor that came in to start doing that shoulder widening work. He showed up this week. It did experience some equipment breakdowns, and from what I'm told, there's more equipment on the way, but they're going to be working to widen the shoulders on 604. Then the only other thing I had to update the board on is out on Route 639 Millbank Road. We have a pipe that failed out there, and we've stabilized it right now. Got the old pipe dealt with kind of and filled in with some stone, but we're gonna come back and replace that pipe. And then later in the fall, we're gonna replace a box culvert that's out there too. So the two are very close to each other. So that's all that I had to update on. Is this time I can open it up to comments or questions.
Anybody got any concern?
I hear the mowers are doing a good job. I'm overhearing they're not doing it fast enough for trees. There's some of which related to me.
Singleton Road, where the spring is under the road and it goes right down the ditch line. A dual-wheel vehicle unfortunately got over in that ditch the other day, and it plowed it out pretty good. It's no shoulder left at all.
Gotcha. Say that road name one more time.
Singleton.
Singleton, okay.
David, that wasn't you, was it?
Wasn't me, but I was there right afterwards. Scott, on Oliver Road in the 12 and 1300 block, right there in front of Josh's house, there's a culvert that has failed there also, and it's actually got two fence posts stuck in it right now, so you don't run off in it, but it's a big hole right there.
Okay, we'll take a look at that. Anybody else?
Right there, Jenkins Blue and Gray, the culvert right there beside the driveway. I think I know the cover stopped up.
Okay.
There's two driveways there, and both of them stopped up. The cattails are sprouting up there.
Okay. All righty, I'll get those addressed. Anybody else?
I don't have anything, Scott.
Okay.
Give me a break tonight.
Scott, you're lucky. You come back to nothing, I tell you what.
Who are you and what have you done with Supervisor Townsend?
That's right.
Thank you. You guys have a great night.
Get him, Miss Pride, don't let him out of here.
I'm not saying a word.
I'll give him a break tonight.
Welcome back.
It's good to be back.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome back.
And then Mr. Robert Lowe would like to public hearing.
Interim Chairman, members of the board, county has received an application by Scott Smoleski on behalf of Hampton Sydney to amend their existing special use permit for the purpose of a master plan of development to include expanded uses and activities of the shooting practice and competition events, as well as to include educational program activities, archery, hiking, cross-country, running, I think hiking's in there twice, I apologize. Leadership development and a nature trail on parcel 064-A45 with an address of 7128 Farmville Road. The Planning Commission held their advisory hearing on the May 24th. We had no speakers against the application. We did have a couple public speakers, but you have that excerpt in your packet. This public hearing was properly advertised in the Farmville Herald. Staff had previously conducted site inspections on this site and used decibel meters and observed that shooting range has been operating fully in compliance of the noise ordinance, the zoning ordinance, and their existing special use conditions. Staff has reviewed this amended application with the full master plan. And the opinion is the stated uses are generally compatible with the district and will have minimal impact on surrounding properties. There would be some traffic during public events, but that's the bulk of it. I did look at the existing conditions and add new conditions prior to the Planning Commission meeting to reflect the expanded activities, trying to accomplish site control over the site. Hampton Sydney did have a complete application with a full list of the types of events they'll have, the frequency of events, and this application did get reviewed by VDOT. VDOT did say that they would have to upgrade their entrance, and that is one of the conditions. If approved, they would work with VDOT on a new commercial entrance. The applicants here have several representatives, but I would be glad to answer any questions the board might have of me right now. Okay?
Okay. All right. And we have, another one? Okay.
For the public hearing, it's request that the applicant would like to go first and make some statements.
My name is Andy Shield. 60 years ago this June, I graduated from Hampton City College. In the last few years, I've been active with the administration of the college officials there to upgrade and improve their sports shooting facility. I've been helped with two experts in the field. One, Mr. Rick Hemingway, based in South Carolina, and considered one of the top experts in this country on designing recreational shooting facilities, sports shooting facilities with regard to competitive nature and, of course, all safety protocols. The site is 251 acres. What we're envisioning doing, we use 48 of the 251 acres, 48 acres. The balance will be left, as Mr. Lowe said, for the activities that the college has planned there. The growth in sports shooting collegiately is quite impressive. I'll give you one example. Last year, the college went to the national competitive Division III championships in San Antonio, Texas, and there were 20 Division III colleges and universities, and the college came in fourth. This past April, there were 61 colleges and universities at the Division III level, and the college came in 24th. Our objective is to upgrade the facilities, to have very competitive training facilities, and have something that complements not only the college, but opportunities in the county with regard to activities, bringing activity to the county. The ranges are set up, as Mr. Rick Hemingway did. He came up and met with me. We spent over a day on the site taking waypoints with his electronic data, and went back to his office in South Carolina and transformed that into the ranges and submitted those to Mr. Chip Copeland here at Maxey, the civil engineer, and he plotted them on the site plan. We had several discussions, a few adjustments and whatnot, and finalized the plans, which then went back to the college, and the college saw those, and we brought those forth to you. In addition to the ranges, there will be a lodge. Our plan is to build the ranges first, then the lodge. But the lodge is important because the way it's designed, there's a central room and two wings. And the wings will be a place to have laser-operated shooting target practice indoors. And what this is a projector that throws a target across a wall. I'll raise the walls to 9 feet instead of 8 feet, it gives a little bit more range. And the projector can throw one target or two targets, or can throw targets from either direction, and you can adjust the speed. An insert, a laser insert goes in through the muzzle of a shotgun, 20 gauge or 12 gauge, depending on the size of the gun. And a wire connects to the trigger. And so a student practicing, when the targets go across, and again, the speed can be adjusted, he can shoot, shoot, shoot. The laser projects an impact where the target would have been, where the shot would have hit, behind or head, behind or low. And he can shoot 25 times in less than 3 minutes with no sound, no shells, no target course. And so we have two of these, which will be in the two wings in the facility. It greatly reduces the outdoor shooting time in practice, and of course saves cost of shells and targets. We also have in the design several duplications of ranges. So when the students do go inside to shoot, instead of 5 of the 10 of the team members shooting, then the next group shooting, which doubles the time outside, there are simultaneous ranges, which Mr. Hemingway designed completely safely to be used concurrently. And so when they're outside shooting, is greatly reduced by half the time because of the facilities we had set up and designed. These aspects enhance the total performance of the situation. And the planning, as I said, is to do this in 2 stages, build the ranges and then build the lodge, and have it all completed and done in the most upgraded, very attractive facility, which will complement the campus and the community. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Chair, we have about 6 people signed up to speak. The first 2 are Robert and Janet Lovelace, who are online or on the call this evening. Mr. Lovelace?
Yes, thank you. We're representing Rosemary Woodley, who is the adjoining landowner on the south side of the Hampton Sydney property. We attended the Planning Commission meeting a month ago. We support this special use permit as long as it does mean to meet the conditions that were added by the planning board.
Thank you, Mr. Lovelace. Ms. Lovelace, do you have anything else you'd like to add?
No, not at this time.
Thank you.
I think if everything is written and the parameters are gone over, and we had a good discussion at the planning meeting, and I think I salute and applaud the county supervisors because they asked wonderful questions, which did help to limit and explain what exactly was going on. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker is Mr. King Copeland. Mr. Copeland, I'd ask you to give us your full address.
Ken Copeland, 310 Briarwood Drive, Farmville. Mr. Chairman or Vice Chairman and members of the board, thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight. I just want to echo a lot of what Andy has already said, and it's been a lot of effort and a lot of work that's gone into the plan. We've tried to be good stewards of the original conditional use permit and the second amendment to that, or the first amendment rather, to the original conditional use permit. I had an opportunity to speak with Doug, and I told him, you know, we want this to be a positive for our students, but not only that, a positive that will allow students and their fathers, their families, our alums to actually take advantage of this property. And also, just as Den was saying, Den's gone, but it's an opportunity for an extended stay for people who visit this community to spend a night or two and to have the opportunity to come and take advantage of the shooting facility. So we appreciate your consideration. I want to applaud Andy for all the effort. He's a volunteer, and he's done yeoman's work to get us to this point. I also want to applaud Scott Schlemesky and our shooting coach, Ty, and our Dean of Students, Hanley. They are the ones who oversee this program, and our young men have behaved just exactly as we have anticipated and as we have expected them to. So we'll continue to make sure that continues to happen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Ms. Savannah Thornton.
Thank you for allowing me to speak. My name's Savannah Thornton. I live at 1705 Dodge Street in Farmville. I'm want to talk a little bit about this facility. I don't oppose it, but I would like to know more, and maybe somebody could tell me as a citizen and as an employee of Hampton Sydney College what's going on behind this project, because the first time I ever heard about it was on Facebook, and in fact, only things that I know about it other than what I heard tonight is what I read on Facebook. And as an economics professor, if one of my students showed up using Facebook as a source, I admit I'd be pretty angry about that. I do want to sort of put this in perspective. Approximately 20 years ago, Hampton-Sydney proposed to build a golf course and a conference center and a restaurant, and there was going to be a big housing development, and it was going to be for alumni and students, and it was going to be very successful, and we were encouraged to have disciplinary conferences there. And ultimately, it was not financially viable in the way that the project was laid out. And I don't know all the details of what happened. I know it changed hands from the college to investors abroad and then back to the college again. And there were questions. And as we all know, there's no restaurant there anymore and no conference center, and only a handful of cottages have been built. And so I wonder about this investment in a shooting range, which from Facebook I hear is going to cost $9 million, although I don't know if that's reliable. But it would be nice to have specific information, have that information from the college. So I'd also like to hear, and maybe the Board of Supervisors should ask, is about the Plan B. And maybe you have this information already, but the rest of us don't. What are the sources of funding for this project? Is it all coming from donors? Is it coming from college operating funds? Is it, thank you. What is the Plan B if the pledges don't mature into gifts?
We don't build it.
Okay. And what if there are substantial cost overruns, as has been with the case with other projects on campus, for example, the Wilson Center? And so I think it would be nice to know more about this. I think the Board of Supervisors should ask more about this. And I also would like to know if there are any implications for taxpayers of this project. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Thornton. Next speaker is Sue Yates. All right. Andrew Payne. He's passing as well. That's all we have signed up. Is there anyone else that would like to speak this evening on this matter? Anybody else online? Mr. Chairman, no other speakers? We'll close the public hearing.
You close the public hearing. Hit the hammer.
Hit the hammer.
Hit it hard. Done it.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the special use permit amendment request by Hampton-Sydney College.
Okay.
We have Mr. Chairman, I'd like to just clarify, does that include the motions as recommended by the Planning Commission?
Yes, sir, as recommended.
Okay.
The second, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay.
We have a motion and a second, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Cooper Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Gillum?
Yes.
Dr. Pride?
Yes.
Supervisor Watson?
Yes.
Supervisor Emmert?
Yes.
Supervisor Townsend?
Yes.
Supervisor Jones?
Yes.
Chair.
Yes. Okay.
Members of the board, our next public hearing is a special use permit for Ms. Nancy Alexander for short-term tourist rental. The county received this application, and the site location is on tax map number 064-A-3 with the address of 161 McFarland Lane. This property is zoned college residential, and this use requires special use permit. You remember when we did some tweaks and modern language updates, we added short-term tourist rental to the zoning ordinance. It had never been in there before. We have a large contingent of folks in the community doing Airbnbs, direct rentals for short terms. And they do have their own specific standards. The code specifies that they have rules and regulations. They have a landline phone and many other things that are in the code. Ms. Alexander's application meets all these criteria. Planning Commission held their advisory public hearing on May 21st where no one spoke in opposition. I
I prepared a draft set of potential conditions, which the Planning Commission reviewed and made recommendations unanimously to approve this application and passing it on to you. Adjoining property owners were notified. I believe Ms. Alexander's here tonight. I'd be glad to answer any questions of me that you might have. This is in the bottom floor of her existing home. It was formerly a long-term lease, and her goal is to short-term lease it now. Her rules and regulations per ordinance of how she runs it are pretty detailed. You have them. That's a supplement. Our conditions reference this. So just examples of things she is not allowing. She's not allowing smoking, not allowing pets, not allowing events, parties, or large gatherings, and her renters must be 25 years old to book. That is her rules. She has additional rules that you can read in your packet. I'd be glad to answer any questions you might have of me, and I'm sure she'll hear. She's here and will give you additional information as well.
We're ready to open the public hearing, Mr. Chairman.
Public hearing?
Ms. Alexander, would you like to make a statement?
Good evening to you all.
Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for letting me bring this in front of you. The house was built, it's adjacent to the Hampden-Sydney campus, and it was constructed in 1970, and in 1978, a full one-bedroom apartment was added. So it is attached to the house, but it is a separate unit. And it just sort of sits there, and it seems like the location calls for this opportunity to be a valuable resource. And so I am bringing that to you all this evening and happy to answer any questions you might have.
Have any questions?
Looks like y'all had a good discourse in the, with the Planning Commission. And,
We did, and I think it's a great use for this. I know that other locations are sort of doing this off the record, but I really wanted it to be an open and approved opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, we have nobody that has signed up. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak on this item? Hearing none, Mr. Chair, you can close public hearing.
It'll be it.
I move that the Board of Supervisors approve special use permit amendment requested by Nancy Alexander for the purpose of establishment of a short-term tourist rental with the following conditions listed.
I'll second it.
Okay.
As recommended by the Planning Commission.
Yes.
Lou, do you agree?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Mr. Emmert.
Yes.
Supervisor Townsend.
Yes.
Supervisor Jones.
Yes.
Supervisor Gillum.
Yes.
Dr. Pride.
Yes.
Mr. Watson.
yes.
Supervisor Cooper Jones.
Yes.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Motion carries. All right, Mr. Chair, our next item is item 14, a request from CP Solar LLC for the Piney Grove site, and turn it over to Mr. Love.
Yes, members of the board, this is leftover business from your last meeting. They had asked for reconsideration. The purpose of this special use to is allow for the location of a utility-scale solar energy facility. The applicant said that the facility will not be seen or heard and will not impact adjacent properties. Facility will not generate noise, light, dust, odor, fumes, or vibrations. Water quality will be addressed according to Virginia Stormwater Management permit requirements. And site will not generate any significant traffic with the main traffic occurring during construction. From your last meeting, if you remember, there was a lot of discussion about the conditions. In your packet, I went through, with the help of Ms. Everhart, all the comments that were taken and prepared a markup. What's in the 15 pages or language that was to be removed, which has been a strike through. Language that was been added has been bolded and underlined. I hope I captured everything that you all wanted. And if you have any questions of me, I'll be glad to answer. The applicant is here, should you have any questions from them. Recommendation is to review this and render a decision. Any questions for me?
Any questions? Okay. There we go. All right, pleasure of the board.
This is the citing agreement, right?
No, this is the SUP. We tabled any action on the citing agreements. We'll have to re-advertise those because we had tabled action on the special use permits at the last meeting.
I don't have the language in front of me. Oh, I see. Like our two parts of the packet end on page 136.
That's the second email.
The second email.
Two emails.
It could be the,
I'm on it, but
could be, yeah.
it seems to take off where it left.
It's a two-part.
Yeah, I was on
You
the
go,
second
pass
part.
that down. Chairman, if you can.
It goes to 137
Here we
on
go.
Ken, there you go.
different email.
Yeah, I'll take that.
You know, you got it, Jerry?
Yeah. Page 2 of 164, yeah, SUP.
137 at the bottom.
137 at
Okay.
the bottom.
Something like popped up on my face.
Yeah. All right, so I'll move that the Board of Supervisors approve the special use permit requested by CEP Solar LLC for the proposed 8-megawatt utility scale solar energy facility with the following conditions as listed by the comp board. I mean, planning commission. Thinking jail, y'all.
That's tomorrow, Jerry. I think Patty's trying to say something.
Yeah.
She seconded.
Would you want that, the amended conditions in this package, the planning commission recommended?
So as recommended by the Plan Commission and amended by the Board of
Board of
Supervisors at the last week. David, that's soup?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, we want to capture everything. Harrison,
Yeah.
Emirates, yeah.
We have a motion and second, Mr. Chair. Ms. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Gillum?
Yes.
Dr. Pride?
Yes.
Ms. Watson, Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Emmert?
No.
Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
No.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Motion carries 6-2. Next item is a request from CEP Solar LLC for the Miller Lake site. It was also tabled at last month's meeting. Turn it over to Mr. Love.
Yes, members of the board, this is a 5-megawatt site, so this is commonly called a community solar energy facility. This is on an 81.2 acres of land denoted as two parcels, 069-A-15, 069-A-16, located on the south side of Piney Grove Road. Since your last meeting, again, I compiled the recommended changes by the various board members, and we updated our template. We'll be using that template from now on. Hope I reflected all the changes that you all requested. You have the packet. In addition, what was handed out tonight, one of the major things brought forth was the access road easement. That issue has been resolved. You have it in your packet as well that I provided to you from the applicant. I'd be glad to answer any questions you might have of me.
Move that the board,
Go ahead, Jerry.
move that the Board of Supervisors approve the special use permit requested by CEP Solar LLC for the purpose of the 5-megawatt solar energy facility with the following conditions as listed by the Planning Commission.
And amended.
And amended by Supervisor Jones and Supervisor Emmerich.
and included in your packet. Mr. Chair, we have a motion and a second. Supervisor Cooper Jones?
Yes.
Supervisor Emmert?
No.
Supervisor Townsend?
Yes.
Supervisor Jones?
No.
Supervisor Gillum?
Yes.
Dr. Pride?
Yes.
Supervisor Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
That also passed by a 6-2 vote.
Okay. Well, Ms. Chelsea White?
She's coming, I think she's got a video she's going to show you, Mr. Chair.
Joe, while we're waiting, I spoke to CEP several times on the phone, and I would like to say to the community that they have done their due diligence and come to the board and everything else and done what they said they would do thus far. So I appreciate the fact that you all have done that. I said that I would say that, and meant what I said. I expect you to continue to do so. There have been provisions and things there to force you to, but I expect you to do so on your own tuition. Thank you for what you have done.
I second that.
Don't everybody leave. I'm in jail, Jerry. You mentioned jail, they headed out.
You think you want to tell them on their way out?
Did somebody adjourn the meeting? Well, they did. Go back and fix this.
Chelsea, if you talk about solar panels, more people listen.
Now I know the secret.
Obviously. You know the secret now?
Now I know.
Lose your audience.
Thank you. How you doing, dear?
Better amend that presentation.
Well, good evening again.
Good evening, Jill.
So I'm being assisted by Sarah, so I appreciate that. She's handing out my report to you all, and I'll provide some highlights. So first, just want to start with the IDA and their activity. They held 5 special meetings from March to date. One was actually this morning to discuss Hit Park prospects, and that includes contracts, agreements, LOIs, MOUs, NDAs, proposals, all the letters. And so it's safe to say that the site has continued with an uptick of interest. Additionally, IDA members, county staff, and our consultant have hosted more site visits and coordinated in-person visits in-person and virtual meetings with Hit Park prospects outside of the 5 special meetings. Regarding Poplar Hill Community Development Authority, I'd like to announce that they finalized paying off loans to the IDA, and this includes a $200,000 loan as well as a $20,000 loan. Continuing on with our Prince Edward County Strategic Economic Development Plan, we hosted a kickoff meeting with the advisory group, and that was held on March 27th. And this is in conjunction with our consultants from RKG Associates. And so at that meeting, demographic data was presented to the advisory group, which is made up of local stakeholders and business leaders. Demographic data was presented to the advisory group. There was a group discussion on goal setting for the project and the following topics, including manufacturing and industrial development, retail, dining and entertainment, retail shopping, dining and entertainment, tourism development, workforce development, and training, and growth and development issues as well that the county has been facing. Staff also provided the consultants a tour of the county's economic development assets after the meeting, and stakeholder interviews were held in April with citizens from varying business interests and perspectives regarding the current business climate. I'm also happy to inform you all that the county has been awarded a $442,005 grant to fund Phase 1 of the Industrial Access Road project for the HIT Park. And so Phase 1 includes engineering and design services, as well as right-of-way relocation costs. The CRC provided technical assistance on this grant application, so they've been very helpful in that process. Next, moving on to tourism, a new website is being developed, and this website will promote tourism destinations in the county and lodging options. It will also feature many wedding-related businesses, which includes venues, caterers, florists, boutiques, hotels, salons, and everything that you need.
Any idea how many weddings we have going on these days? I mean, I encounter these people all the time downtown roaming around. It must be a
That's
lot
a
of
good question. I can get that number. I can work on getting.
I'd be
'cause
curious
that'd
because
be
it's
a
really
good number.
growing.
Yeah, it is. I mean,
I think one of the things we found out, of course, all three state parks, all three do weddings.
Yes.
You know, and you've had the county line, you've got Gully Tavern, you've got New Poorhouse Road Barn, and we've got others that are in the works. So we've got all these different venues that are popping up, and we've got caterers, we can partner up with them. So it really, I think we're in the process of building a niche market. I think we're more affordable than the Richmond area.
It's got to be a major part of it, right? We're just a good bit more affordable than any city.
Well, and some people want to be married out on a farm with a beautiful scenic view.
I
You know,
went to one out near Montvale Sunday afternoon. It was beautiful too. I mean, they're cropping up everywhere.
absolutely. So yeah, I will. That'll be a good number for us to have. So I'll work on that.
Thanks, Chelsea.
Thank you.
Thank you. Animal control.
All righty. Mr. Vice Chair, first, I'd like to say your gavel swinging is getting really good.
I'm learning.
He's getting comfortable.
Hit hard, Bill.
And members of the board, I'm going to speak with you tonight a little bit about our running at large ordinance that we've had some concerns pop up last board meeting and throughout the county. But first, I'd like to kind of give you a couple updates of just some fun and exciting facts for you. Last month, our newest deputy, G. Lombardo, graduated ACO school, and he is eager to hit the road, so that's always a good plus. We're meeting with the architects tomorrow and Thursday from the Shelter Planners of America for a site visit and then discussion on the county's needs for a new shelter. The star from last month's board meeting, Brownie, the chunky little pit bull girl, she got transferred to Richmond SPCA, and then she's already found a loving home and got adopted.
All right.
So, also, just in July, we're going to try to start a new schedule in which 2 officers will be on every day to extend our coverage, kind of hoping to limit the massive flood of things we have on a Monday when we roll in, so we can kind of keep up with the citizens' needs. So
Every day, 7 days.
correct. Yes. And then so far this year, we have had, as of this morning, we've had 263 animals come into the shelter. Just to give you an idea, if we keep on that rate, we will probably top 600 by the end of the year. Last year, we only had 404 come in, so we're a little bit ahead of the curve on that one. We're doing really good with placement, and we do our best. I think currently we have 17 dogs housed in the 11-run facility, so we're kind of packed, but we're making it happen day by day. So I'm just going to kind of dive into how we tackle our bring it large policy that we have throughout the county. As you know, folks have to keep them on their property. They don't have to be tied up or pinned up or on a leash, but they have to remain on their property or under the owner's immediate control when off property. Let's say complaint comes in, my neighbor's dog is running around in my yard. We try to go out, speak with the owner of the dog if known. If we haven't had any issues with them before, or possibly they don't know about the ordinance, we try to educate them, give them a warning, which since we revised the ordinance in February, March, that we no longer have to give a warning. So it's kind of a case-by-case basis. If they don't have any county tags or rabies, we issue summons for those. And because we've had a running at large issue over the last year and some change, there's a few county ordinances that we're going to start pushing more on. One is actually dogs have to have on their collar bearing their county tag or rabies tag at all times. So that way, hopefully, if we pick them on the road, we can find their owner quicker and get them back to them, so we have less of a influx of critters coming in. Let's say the complainant has called, they saw the dog on their property, they're willing to come to court, boom, we can write them the tickets for violating the running at large ordinance. There's a lot of folks that do not want to cause an issue with their neighbors. Some of the neighborhoods are, houses are very close together, don't really want to be the person who called the dog warden, and they just kind of want us to handle it. Without a witness, we have to rely on, we can increase patrols if we can, to hopefully for us to see it off property, which makes it a lot easier. Then we don't need a witness, we are the witness. We can place cameras on around the community if, property owners will allow us. We set the cameras so we can testify in court where the placement is. We couldn't use your Ring doorbell thing unless you are willing to come to court to say, yes, that is my Ring doorbell, that is my property. And it kind of has come up previously when people have tried to use pictures without the witness, because I could take a picture of the dog in your yard, but it's in your yard, not my yard. And you can't really tell where it goes. And then the other option we have is a trap. We've set traps numerous times, numerous places, same with cameras. Issues with cameras might not be pointed in the right direction. Dog might be running, so you can't get a clear shot of it, so you can't prove that it's the neighbor's dog. And a lot of the dogs that are a neighbor's dog don't really want our stinky cat food that we put in the traps to kind of get them. So unless they go in, we can't catch them. So with that, one thing we're running into, we get a lot of folks that will call, they don't want us to set cameras or traps. We can't catch it off property. And to mitigate that, we will actually start subpoenaing people who have constant issues but are unwilling to come to court, because we will need a witness if we don't see it. In the past, we've avoided trying to do that so we don't upset folks, but it seems to be an issue where we're going to have to start doing it. If we can't, we've exhausted all other efforts, we'll have to try that, because sometimes these issues can go on for months. You know, we can pick the dog up, the person comes, pays the first $25 fee or any impound fees. We can write them tickets, they get the dog back, they can go let it out once they get back home, and it can run around. As far as the escalating fees, it's $25, $50, and then $100 for the third offense, and then $100 every time after that. Mr. Townsend brought up a good question. If I catch your dog January of this year and February of next year, you know, we catch your dog again, it's going to be the second time. We keep pretty good records of whose dog comes in and when, and there's no, it never resets. It doesn't reset at the beginning of the year.
Quick question on that.
Yes, sir.
Is that, say I've got 2 dogs, do you count the first offense on me or on the dogs?
It's per dog.
Okay.
So if I pick up both your dogs at the same time, you're paying $50 straight out the gate. So the second time, $100. And that's the other thing. It's yeah, it's just $25 for the first time we impound it. Now that does not.
One quick question there. Yeah, Harrison, part of your question, I'm going back to that, I guess is what I'm trying to say. If I have 2 dogs, you pick up one, I pay the $25 and get him back. Later on, the other dog gets out and you pick him up. It's $25 fine for that dog, correct?
So that one, it can be, basically, yes, it's per dog.
It's per dog, not per owner.
So that's kind of a gray area that we have right now. The ordinance used to, our running at large ordinance used to say, I have to warn you per dog. Now I can give you a blanket warning for all the dogs you have, but that doesn't account for the escalating fee schedule. So currently, we just charge you for, if I pick up your brown dog twice, it's $50, but if I just picked up your black dog for the first time, it's just $25.
Correct. That's what
That's the question you asked.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm asking that is because people that have hunting dogs, now I realize this doesn't have anything to do with hunting season or whatever else, but if their dogs happen to get out, they're going to hunt if they're true dogs. So just because you pick up one dog, there may be 2 or 3 dogs out. If they catch them all except for, let's just say Sue and Joe are out, they catch all of them except for those 2 dogs, do they get fined twice?
So as far as the summons portion, so the summons, if it is, let's say it's your first offense, we've never had any run-ins with you, the vast majority of the time we will write, you know, running at large, 1070, 2 dogs on one summons. Now, if it might be the second or third time we've had to pick those dogs up, we'll write one for each individual dog. But generally, first offense, we just kind of lump them together on one ticket, because it can get quite bulky for the judge if we did that for every single time.
Is it also true, Adam, that it's within your discretion to give a warning? Is that?
Correct. When we change the ordinance, we do not have to give a warning. But we do, you know, it could be your dog dug out from underneath your fence. This is the first time we've ever had any dealings with you. You know, be like, hey, don't forget, you can't do this. We will be increasing our door-to-door notices, and that's just a friendly notice of, hey, don't forget, you have to have your county tags and rabies up to date. You also have to keep your dogs on your property. And we're going to be hitting certain areas that have had a higher rate of dogs running around over the past year. There was the question of increasing the pay scale. Instead of 25, 50, 100, if we could increase it. It tops out at 100. The state won't allow us to charge any more than 100. $25 is a good place to start for the first one, because if it is your first time and pure accident, let's say the grandkid lets the dog out and we picked it up, you don't want to have to pay $100. If we did increase it, I can guarantee you I would have more people not pick their dog up from the pound, which does occur. Like if it's your third or fourth time and I've picked both your dogs up, I've had people say, I'll just sign them over, I don't want them back. And that's been something we've been dealing with a lot of lately, actually. Owner surrenders are actually much higher than previous years. Any other questions that maybe I didn't touch on that anybody has any comments or questions on?
Thanks.
No, I think I can live with it. The thing of it is, most of the time when dogs run stray and you know who they are, who they belong to, the right thing to do is go speak with the owner and ask him to control his or her dog. Right. And normally, you do that more than one occasion because of the very reason you stated. You want to be good neighbors. You want to continue that good relationship. Normally, when someone calls the animal control, it's beyond that point.
Correct. And
Now, nothing wrong with giving a warning, and I agree with that. You should have that autonomy to do that. But someone dog running loose and they come and you controlling your dogs and then they impregnated the dog and then you have to take them to the vet and then that costs money. And then you got these people, that's money out of my pocket, and they sitting there and not controlling their dog. So it can become a little frustrating.
Right.
You know what it costs for a dog to have pups, a vet to do that? That's way up there, close to $1,000.
Mm-hmm. And that's why we also tell the public a lot. Sometimes they might make a comment, well, my neighbor's dog does this on occasion, but I don't really want to say anything. I say it doesn't hurt to call us for us to at least give them notice on their door saying, hey, keep your dog up. Because the next time it happens, it could be somebody's chickens. Somebody's chickens or cats that gets it. So if we just tell the public, if you don't tell us about it, we don't know about it.
So I commend you for the work you and your colleagues do. Just continue to do it and be aggressive with it.
I greatly appreciate that. And
you can increase the patrol on New Bethel.
I've been down there a couple times. I have one thing we do like to do it on occasion, especially when we have an area that's a little bit problematic. One, I am an early riser, so sometimes I'll get up there before the school bus gets there, and because I know all the parents are up, and drive real slow with my flashy lights on, and they notice what's going on. Oh, wait, my dog's outside, and I've seen people go and get their dog out of their yard and take it back in. So, in patrols, if we've got time, patrols are something we'd like to do more of, as I'm sure you've all seen the news flashes and Facebook and everything like that. The last month, we've had, kittens abandoned in dumpsters and dogs tied to the trees out by the shelter, and
That's right, say it.
It's a lot. But we're tackling it one day at a time, and like I said, if you guys ever have any questions, want to come adopt a dog or a cat, I will waive the fee for you. And if you guys don't have any more questions.
One more quick question.
Yes, sir.
A minute ago, you said that the older dogs need to have a collar with a tag on it.
Yes, sir.
That's if they're off your property, correct?
It is actually in general. It's not just off your property. So that way, if that section of the code, let's say we're doing it door to door, I come to your house, there's a dog out there that not bearing any tags, theoretically, it is deemed a stray because it's not identified.
Supposed to tag in the house.
Well, if you're home, then
Then we need to change ordinance. I'm with you, Jerry. I'm with you. That's where I'm going.
Well, and that is actually why a lot of folks will
Shouldn't have to wear a collar.
ask us questions of, well, that dog was out and that's my neighbor's dog. I don't know where your property starts or where your property ends. So we don't just scoop up a dog because it's in a field running next to the road unless we absolutely know it's not on the property it's supposed to be. If we did that, we'd have a lot more dogs we'd be picking up. But yeah, if there's any other questions?
Yes, we got the tags.
Thanks for the effort.
I think, appreciate it. I'd like to say, everybody have a happy Father's Day, and don't forget the fur dads too. Dogs are children as well. So. So. Y'all have a good one. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And now, we have
Ms. Sarah's coming.
Ms. Sarah with some appointments.
Do we vote on these one at a time or in a batch?
I think we have to go one at a time.
You say one?
No, I said.
Good evening, Mr.
You said we can
Mr. Vice Chair and members of the board. I turn your attention to page 207, item number 18, appointments. And represented there are the offices that will expire, the citizen volunteer appointments, the offices that will expire June 30, 2024. Two quick amendments to the chart in front of you. For the Board of Appeals of Building Code, the building official did receive a handwritten note, I believe sometime in the last week, from Cornelius Jones, or it looks like perhaps it was written by his wife, that just says, "I'm still interested in remaining on the board. Also, my wife Barbara is also interested in becoming a member." So it was not a, I'm happy to pass this around, but the building official brought this to me this afternoon. So that's under the Board of Appeals of Building Code. And then under the Industrial Development Authority, I inadvertently misspelled Robert Atkinson's last name. So if you can correct that. Yeah. And then under the board staff appointments, there are two. One, Piedmont Senior Resources. Dr. Pride has served, I believe, 2 3-year terms on the PSR board. She is not eligible for reappointment. That appointment can be a citizen or a board member, and that is at the discretion of the board. And then under the Heartland Regional Industrial Facility Authority, that I believe is a position of the county administrator, but he does have a term of office. And you would wish to reappoint him to that, to continue to represent the county on that authority.
It is expiring.
It is expiring, yes, sir. And I'm happy to answer any questions. Your citizen volunteer applications are immediately following.
I would just say, I talked to Justine at PSR. She'd love to have a board rep if we can give one.
Yes, and Dr. Pride concurred that it was helpful to have a member of the Board of Supervisors serve in that capacity.
Yes.
Because they are so meaningful to the community. That agency is so meaningful.
And they can bring any reports or concerns back to the board.
Right.
In an effective manner.
I would be willing to do that. They do use me in Davenport for some investments. And I don't know to what extent that is a.
That wouldn't
That wouldn't be a
I don't
problem.
think I'd make much difference for anything, but I'd be willing to do that. I'm a fan of what they do. They're really good at what they do.
And I would just like to say, I definitely support Cannon, and if it's not a conflict of interest, I would definitely.
It is not a conflict of interest through the Virginia Conflict of Interest Act. We've confirmed that for Mr.
And-
Watson.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we appoint Thomas Frisbee Fulton to the Appeals for Boarding Code, Robert Atkinson, Mike Montgomery to the IDA, Gwen Akers Booker to the Social Services Board, Cannon Watson to the Piedmont Senior Resources Board, and Doug Stanley to the Virginia Heartland Regional Industrial Facility Authority Board.
second that.
Excuse me, may I ask a question?
Sure.
If you note in parentheses, it says, position to be filled by a resident living in the Rice area, and Gwen is not in the Rice area.
So she was originally appointed, and I'm going to say at the time, her residence was east of Farmville, in the area that we would consider generally the Rice area.
That's
It-
Rice?
It's not, when you think of Rice, it's not the village. What we really do is kind of split the county into, and is Patty still on she's as familiar with this or more familiar because she's the current Board of Supervisors representative. But typically, what the board has done
is split the county into kind of 4 quadrants. And we call one the Prospect area, one the Rice area, one the Darlington Heights, Hampden, Sydney area, and one the Meharry Green Bay area. And it's really to make sure that we've got geographic distribution. So I'm going to say from what I understand, and I did not check her address because she was up for reappointment, she lived east of Farmville in the area that we would consider the Rice area of the county. And that she served previously as a representative from the Rice area when she was originally appointed.
And the reason I question that, I know, Jerry, she's in your voting district, right? That's why.
She live at about, off, Giant Hill Road.
Right.
Going this way. She more of in Lee District of Meharry area, consider
I didn't
Hampton
think
Sydney
that'd be
really. But Rice area, Carl Stiff is definitely the
Yes.
person for
Yeah,
Rice.
I can't, like
She
I
did in the center
said,
of
she
Rice.
was originally appointed to that position by the board for the Rice
Yeah, we
area.
can re-up on it.
And so that's,
Yeah, that's right.
yeah, that's all I,
Yeah.
But
That's
that's
all
what
right.
I concern, you know, and I'm looking at Carol Stiff. I mean, would be an excellent candidate. She definitely is in the Rice area.
Carol got my vote.
yes, ma'am, and
Yeah.
I,
That you could
yeah.
be-
She got my vote.
And she would have mine.
Do you want to make an amendment?
I'll make an amendment to the Social Services Board, Carol Stiff, as Carol Stiff nominated. Need a nominee or representative.
Right.
So I make it,
You
I'll
can say it
amend, I'll amend Supervisor Jones.
Supervisor Jones?
Yeah, I'll accept that.
Okay.
I will continue to second that then.
Mr. Chair, you have a motion and a second. Ms. Cooper Jones?
Yeah.
Mr. Emmert?
Yes.
Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Gillum?
Yes.
Dr. Pride?
Yes.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Sarah, you got the next item.
Well, I'm gonna, ask the Commissioner of Revenue to come on up and let her, Old Ridge. I mean, I assume that's her address,
What's her address?
795 Old Ridge Road.
That won't work either then.
That would be in
That is what
the,
we
in the
consider
geography
the
that
rice
we,
quadrant of power.
yeah, when you split the,
Not necessarily Lockett District,
right.
No,
but the
Cheryl
Rice
Reed-
area.
Cheryl Still.
Yeah, that was.
She lives down there on,
She got two houses.
Lone Pine.
She may have two homes.
Yeah, this is Lone Pine where she lives at. I think it's called Lone Pine.
She's appointed now.
Too late.
But she's in Rice.
So she lives supposed to now, she's appointed.
Gotta move.
Moving quick.
Gotta move.
Go for it.
Good evening to the chair and all of the board. So I'm coming before you guys tonight. Well, first off, I'm Crystal Hensley. I'm the Commissioner of the Revenue for the county. I'm coming before you tonight to ask for you all to repeal the mobile home ordinance that was, it was put into effect back in June of 1971. So what this entails is every quarter, we get a mobile home report from DMV. And we have to go through this mobile home report to verify that everything is in the county. If it's not, we note it, we send a copy over to the town. So we have this thing called, you have to purchase a mobile home sticker. So the mobile home sticker is $2. And I just want to show you guys, these are some examples if you want to look at that, about the whole process. So we have to fill out this whole form that is on a 4-page carbon copy. And then we have to send out a first and second notice to the taxpayers for them to come in to get a mobile home sticker.
Pay their $2.
To pay $2. So the whole process is, we get the report, we generate a letter, we send it out to the taxpayers, come in and get a mobile home sticker for $2. They come in, we have to fill out the 4-page carbon copy. We then have to take the taxpayer over to the treasurer's office to where the application gets processed. They give out a $2 mobile home sticker and a receipt to the taxpayer and instructions on where to place this. From 2015 to 2023, we averaged $98 in revenue for the mobile home stickers. The time that we have to put in to do this complete process is, I mean, it's insane, really. It's taken away from other things.
I move we vote to repeal.
I mean, for $2?
I can help you a whole lot. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
This is archaic and it doesn't work anymore, therefore, I'm gonna make a motion that we
Thank you.
repeal the 1971 county mobile home trailer ordinance.
To have a public hearing to do that, because it's
Correct.
an ordinance.
And to have the public hearing to do so. That's my motion.
Second.
And before I call, but I just wanted to add, you know, in 1971, 50 years ago, there was probably a good reason for that, as far as, because they were a lot more mobile, people would move them around, at least you knew where it was, and you could make sure there were building permits to hook up the electric and all those
And
types of
$2 was worth a whole lot more than it is today. so.
Well, and so now you have to, as Doug was saying, you do have to get a building permit for the utilities. So this just seems, I mean, it's just irrelevant to.
So we need
to
a,
what
do
we
a
do.
public hearing in July.
Yeah.
We
Assuming we can advertise it,
We can
yes.
get that advertised and done. So I make a motion that we have a public hearing about the repeal of the mobile home in July.
I'm thinking there won't be a lot of opposition.
I don't think so.
David, I
Yes,
thought
sir.
surely you were gonna figure in the factor of inflation through the years.
I already got it, I already rolled that around.
Mr. Chair, we have a motion and a second. Ms. Cooper Jones.
Yeah.
Mr. Gillum.
Yes.
Dr. Pride.
Yes.
Mr. Watson.
Yes.
Mr. Emmett.
Yes.
Mr. Townsend.
Yes.
Mr. Jones.
Yes.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
It passes unanimously, Mr. Chairman.
Thank y'all so much, I appreciate that.
Thanks for the idea.
Yes, sir, absolutely, you're welcome.
Bring more of them.
I'm working on it.
Next one's mine, Mr. Chair. When I first got to Prince Edward a little over 3.5 years ago, one of the things that I'll say we were woefully behind was our capital improvement planning, as far as identifying those types of projects that were needed in the community. When I met individually with the board members, we had lots of things to talk about. Ultimately, the board supported the adoption of a plan in October of '21. The plan included 14 projects totaling $55 million in project cost. To date, the only projects that have not been completed off the list, including the new animal shelter, which we're working on, the elementary school renovation, which should go out to bid later this summer, and the VDOT revenue sharing program. Again, the animal shelter is in design, and it's one of those, I think we're making good progress on it. To keep the capital improvement plan current, it must be updated every 2 years. The update process will begin with submission of capital expenditure requests from county departments and associated agencies in July. The Planning Commission will evaluate the requests using a list of 12 criteria that we used last time. And the Planning Commission will hold a public hearing and make a recommendation to the Board of Supervisors. But we'd like to, we're a couple months behind, but we're also working the comprehensive plan at the same time. But I guarantee this one should be a little bit, certainly less costly and hopefully shorter, because we've been able to knock a lot of things off the list. But at this time, I'd request the board approve the request to adopt the proposed FY 2024-26 capital improvement plan schedule and direct the county administrator to work with staff and the planning commission in development of the plan.
So moved.
Second.
All right, Mr. Chair, we have a motion and a second. Ms. Cooper Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Emmert?
Yes.
Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Gillum?
Yes.
Dr. Prod?
Yes.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Motion carries.
For anybody curious, in 1971, $2 in today's money is $15.76.
I didn't miss it very much, did it?
I think my comment
Still not
was,
worth it.
my comment was that the permit wasn't $100, we're losing money, and it doesn't serve any purpose. So.
Minutes in 1970, it was proposed to be 50.
50, that's right.
And then in the discussion somewhere, it was, if you go back and just look at those first paragraphs before the ordinance, they proposed $50 for that permit originally. And it ended up being $2.
Somebody can negotiate.
Must have been William Cry.
And I can guarantee you that carbon copy paper costs more than that.
$2, that's right.
Okay, now we have capital improvement plan.
Oh, we just did that one, Mr.
Okay,
Chair.
wait a
Yeah.
minute. Come up, finance and human resource report. There you go, ma'am. I forgot to check that one off.
David, was that Charlie's dad? Charlie Cry?
Charlie's
Uncle, okay.
Good evening, members of the board. It's time for your monthly finance and HR update, mostly finance. First up is Business Data of Virginia Service Contract Amendment. If we'll recall that in December of 2022, the board authorized the hire of a full-time information technology manager with the anticipation of continuing to contract with Business Data of Virginia for AS400 program support for the Commissioner of Revenue and Treasurer. Our IT Director, Sean Howard, has been training with Mr. Headley on the functions and procedures of the AS400 system as it pertains to the county. Moving forward, he will continue to work with Mr. Headley to train departments to be more autonomous and self-sufficient in their specialized AS400 program tasks. We have an attached business data service contract as amended to meet the county's current needs for the program support as anticipated.
I move that we extend it.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Ms. Cooper Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Emmert?
Yes.
Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Gillum?
Yes.
Dr. Pride?
Yes.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Next up is the Prince Edward County Public Schools Committed Funds Appropriation. The county received an invoice in the amount of $132,112.40 from Mosley Architects for the renovations to the Prince Edward County Elementary School. The PECPS Capital Improvement Committed Fund available balance is currently $2,357,775.41. The board is asked to transfer $132,112.40 from the PECPS Capital Improvement Committed Funds to the school CIP line within the general fund to cover this expense.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Ms. Cooper Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Gillum?
Yes.
Dr. Pride?
Yes.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Emmert?
Yes.
Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
And the
Motion
last
carries.
item is jail committed funds appropriation. What was that?
Giving Jerry a hard time.
Okay, sorry. The county has faced an increase in Piedmont Regional Jail costs due to the bar screen project construction and the increased cost of inmate days for FY '24. The board is asked to approve and appropriate the transfer of $200,000 from the Piedmont Regional Jail Special Project Committed Funds line to assist with the additional costs.
So move.
So moved.
We can move that comma over to the 20th.
That's right.
I just want to, before I call, I want to add, previous years, we've underspent our budget for the jail. We were anticipating the bar screen capital project, so the board put that money aside the last 2 years. So we got the money to cover it, the overage, so we're in good shape. Ms. Cooper Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Gillum?
Yes.
Dr. Pride?
Yes.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Emmert?
Yes.
Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Chair? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Patty seconded.
Thank you.
I got you.
Okay. And the county attorney's report.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Had a busy month. The animal control, we seem to be very involved with animal control over the last month. We investigated insurance clauses for a possible movement of a dangerous dog from another locality. It kind of went by the wayside, but we learned a lot about insurance and wording and that sort of thing. We had a dangerous dog case, went to court with that. It's been continued. We'll go back to court when I get back on the 24th of June. Had another dog that was ill and had to be put down, and we went to court and got costs for that. So animal control has been very busy. Had 2 other dangerous dogs, but the owners surrendered them, so now we'll no process those charges against them. But those 3 folks work very hard in animal control and are constantly on the road and constantly doing a great job. We had a review. We had some citizens that we met with on Hampton Lane. There's a section of that subdivision that was not dedicated. They want to try to improve that road and eventually get it taken over by VDOT. And so citizens had some concerns, so we met with their council and had some, good discussions and working on some contract wording just to protect the county from having the obligation to improve that. We also, as Chelsea mentioned, 5 meetings with the IDA. We've been busy with working with the HIT Park and other economic development areas. So anyway, I'm involved in all of that. We also had the review of, I looked at some of the ordinances and the court appearances. We had a zoning case, the dangerous dog and the collection of fees that I mentioned. Anyway, I will let y'all know I'm going to be on vacation next week, but if you need me, cell phone works and email's there. Anyway, anybody have any questions, concerns?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, after my son's getting married on Saturday, and I'm going to need more than a week to recover. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Commission, the administrative report.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, few items to report on. At the landfill, our Salt Elf Construction, the contractors cleared trees and started grubbing and grading the site. I rode by there yesterday. It looks like it's starting to come along. We do have a good vegetative buffer from the state highway there, so I was pleased to see that they've got a good buffer still left along the site. HIP Park, we received some great news this month as the Tobacco Commission awarded a grant in the amount of $442,005. That's a 50% match for designing road improvements, right-of-way acquisition, and utility relocation for Symmetry Fork Road, to help us continue to get that site ready for development. Wayfinding signage project, Chelsea submitted our signage proposal to VDOT for review and approval. We actually received some comments back, and we'll be following those with them. This program will tie into and be complementary with the signage being developed and installed by the town around town. And the project will be funded with tourism dollars that we're collecting off the lodging tax. As chair of the Piedmont Juvenile Detention Center Board, I attended graduation for a student last week from Greensville County. It was fantastic to see about 30 to 40 people in attendance to celebrate this young man who, even though he's in the center, he completed his education. In addition to his high school diploma, he received platinum level certification for the Work Keys program. And I told him, I said, there's a reason why the windshield is bigger than the rearview mirror. It's because your future is a lot bigger than your past. So hopefully he'll put that to good work. Our FY 23-24 audit, as approved by the board, we've signed the engagement letter for the audit. They began field work the week of June the 3rd. We also received our OPEB report for the school system in the county. That's something that was late in previous years. Thanks to Cheryl for her efforts in getting that completed ahead of time, which should keep our audit on schedule. Courthouse IT room, county staff completed renovation of a portion of the basement from vending area to an IT server room, as conjunction with the purchase of the new servers that the board authorized. By completing the project in-house, we saved over $20,000 from estimates we received from contractors. So we do have a lot of talented men and women who work for the department, so thanks to them. Found out today we received a grant from the state and local cybersecurity grant program to conduct a threat assessment of our IT systems. Thanks to Trey Powell and Sean Howard for their efforts in securing that grant. We are working with the contractor to finish up all the warranty items on the stormwater system on the Rice Convenience site. That should be completed. Economic development-wise, Five Pillar Meats, the building is up. If you haven't been by there, it's closed in. I think they're targeting an August completion date. Yep, August 15. Wawa site grading's completed, building permits issued. They started to work on, putting gravel down for the access road, and it should be starting on the building shortly. Should be finished by December 1st. The car wash next to Wawa, site grading is completed. Building permits are in now for review. Harbor Freight, all the permits have been approved for that site. They've got actually the building sitting there on the site. I think they're planning to start construction around the 1st of July now. And upcoming board engagement opportunities, we have a comprehensive plan workshop on the 20th at 5:30 at Moton. That's Thursday, 5:30. Please put that on your schedule. And just the last thing, we got notice, and this was part of our budget decision, but the board had cut out the Blackstone area bus system contribution in part because we really weren't seeing much return on investment. If you remember, I think we had 750 trips a year. If you extrapolate that out, that's about 3 rides a day. So they're dropping our area for that service as expected. So I just wanted to report that. And that's all I have unless you have any questions.
I had the planning comp thing on my phone at 6 o'clock. That was just error on my part. It is at 5:30.
I'll confirm it and send an email out.
Well, I have 5:30.
You have 5:30?
Yeah.
I
Week
see
from Thursday.
Blackstone area bus driving a new bus today.
You run now, man.
Call me and remind me, Doug. Anything else, Doug?
No, ready for a close.
In that case, I move the Prince Edward County Board of Supervisors convene in closed session for the consultation with the county attorney and outside legal counsel pertaining to probable litigation related to threatened appeal, the decision of voting sort appeals and circuit court in the Bowman matter where such discussion open meeting would adversely affect the negotiating litigating posture of the county pursuant to the exemption provided for in section 2.2-3711A7 of the Code of Virginia and for consultation with legal counsel regarding the provision of legal advice by such counsel related to properties adjoining the county boundary pursuant to the exemption provided for section 2.2-3711A8 of the Code of Virginia and for discussion and consideration of the acquisition of real property and disposition of publicly held real property, both for the public purpose and related to the easements and/or rights for water lines and electric, where discussion open meeting would adversely affect the bargaining position of the county pursuant to the exemptions provided for in section 2.2-3711A3 of the Code of Virginia.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Ms. Cooper Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Gillum?
Yes.
Dr. Pride?
Yes.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Emmert?
Yes.
Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Bang again.
Did you over that?
That's-
Whatever it is, we'll cover.
Well, I need to probably be there about 6, but I just don't think it's gonna happen. Really don't think that.
I imagine sometimes
I use him. All right.
that alarm clock goes
Y'all
off and
ready?
you wake up and you're like, wow.
Try to hit that snooze.
Thing is, a moving target, isn't he?
Mr. Chairman, I move that the Board of Supervisors return to open session.
Okay. Hold on just a second, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome to the
There we
Prince
go.
Edward County Conference Line. Please stand by. You'll be joined in shortly.
I reiterate, sir, that I make a motion that we return to open session.
Second. We have a motion and a second to come back to open session. Ms. Cooper Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Gillum?
Yes.
Dr. Pride?
Yes.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Emmert?
Yes.
Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
We are now in open session, and whereas Prince Edward County Board of Supervisors has convened in closed session on this day pursuant to an affirmative recorded vote and in accordance with provisions of Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and whereas Section 2.2-3712 of the Code of Virginia requires a certification by the board to that such closed session was conducted in conformity with Virginia law. Now therefore be it resolved that the board hereby certifies that to the best of each member's knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements of Virginia law were discussed in closed session, to which this certification resolution applies, and only such matters as were identified in the motion by the board by which the closed session was convened were heard, discussed, and considered in the meeting by the board. Need a second.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Ms. Cooper Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Emmert?
Yes.
Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Gillum?
Yes.
Dr. Pride?
Yes.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Any member who believes that there was a departure from the requirements and clause shall state the substance of departure. This shall be taken in the statement and recorded in the minutes. Mr. Chairman, I move the board authorize the county administrator and the county attorney to negotiate electric line and water line easements on Monroe Church Road with Pimbleton Properties LLC, and authorize the board and board chair and county administrator to execute all documents on behalf of the county.
Second. We have a motion and a second to approve the motion. Any discussion? Mr. Emmert?
Yes.
Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Gillum?
Yes.
Dr. Pride?
Yes.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Yes.
One second, who seconded that?
I did.
Okay, I got you.
Mr. Chair, I think we've got, obviously, the VACO County Officials Summit upcoming. There's information in your packet. If you're interested in attending, please let Karen know, and we'll make sure you're registered and have necessary accommodations. We've got correspondence in the packet, the July 4th celebration, which is happening on the 3rd, I believe. They're shutting the streets down at 3 o'clock on the 3rd. I'm going to be releasing staff here just because they're shutting the streets down. Copy of the Prince Edward County Extension newsletters in the packet. We're excited to have Aaron Smalls back. And a copy of the Southside Virginia Community College Panther newsletter in there as well.
I think there's also VACO conference
That's right.
information
That's right.
in there.
November.
And even though it seems early because it's not until November,
Yeah.
very shortly here, we're gonna be asked to submit registrations. So even if you think you wanna go, but you're not sure, go ahead and say you wanna go, because it's easier to cancel a reservation than to get you one in September, October, or November.
What is the date?
10th through the 12th, ain't
I don't have that in front of me.
it? November 10th through the 12th. Where's them gonna be? Back to Hempstead.
And the board, we're guaranteed, I've got a separate room on the shirt, we're guaranteed 3 rooms. And if we've got more than 3, we want to get in line, the wait list to get the others. So please let us know if you have any interest.
If you know you absolutely don't want to go, then we won't put in a reservation for you. But if there's any chance, just let us go ahead and do it, and then it's easy to cancel. I think we don't have to cancel until like 7 days.
7 days.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's all we have, Mr. Chair.
That's good for tonight. Well, I think we should go home.
All right.
Can I drop the hammer?
So moved.
All right, Jared, hold on to it.
Okay? We're gonna drop the
I'll
hammer.
second it.
All right.
All right, Ms. Cooper Jones? Mr. Gillum?
Yes.
Dr. Pride?
Yes.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Emmert?
Yes.
Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?